seat?
Yes.
Yes. Can you tell me what is it written? Yes. Can you tell me what is it written?
Screen is not showing.
18,
Yes.
18, 18, 18, 18.
1857.
Yes, sir.
Yes. You are able to read 1857. 1857. What happened in 1857? What happened in 1857?
Sir,
Sir,
revolted by
Rani
Mangal
Lakshmi
Pandey.
Bai.
Yes. Absolutely right. Wonderful. You prepare for it. All of you prepare for it. Read it thoroughly. 1857, how bravely we fought against Britishers. We lost, but even then it was great attempt, great effort. You have all read heroic stories of Lakshmi Bai, Tantia Tope, all those people. I mean, great people. Read their stories again and narrate their stories in the class whenever you get time again. Right? Then this is 1876. Between 1857 to 1876, continuously the Britishers exploited Indians. They brought one law after another, one law after another. They completely crushed India. And the system of governance was changed from 1857 onwards. Earlier it was East India Company managing, now it was the British rule directly managing it. And now a number of changes took place. In 1876, Vernacular Press Act was enacted by Lord Ripon, who was then the Viceroy. And the purpose of the Vernacular Press Act was to completely curtail the freedom of Indian press. So it was, the British government brought many laws. One of them was Vernacular Press Act to curtail the freedom of Indian press. English press was allowed, but Indian press, like those who were writing in Hindi, they were, suppressed. So that's why 1876 is important. Then in 1882, we had Hunter Education or Indian Education Commission or Hunter Education Commission. From 1857 till 1980, till 1880, India was thoroughly, exploited. But in 1882, we had a good person, Lord Ripon, as the viceroy. He was a good person. So he introduced Indian Education Commission to inquire into the state of education in India. And that's why it was called Hunter Commission, Hunter Education Commission. Then in 1883, we had Ilbert Bill, which was introduced by Lord Ripon. And this 1883-84, this bill provided for first time that Indian person could also try a British person. Then in 1885, the most important party of India. What is the most important party? Here I am, 1885. So in 1885, the most important party, which is the most important party in India? Yes, Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress was established in 1885. Who established it? A.O. Hume. Why did A.O. Hume establish? A.O. Hume was a Britisher. In fact, the British government wanted a wall. They wanted a party through which Indian people could speak their grievances and the British government could help and pacify their grievances. So in 1885, Indian National Congress was established, and this is the turning point, as you can see it. So 1885, Indian National Congress establishment, and from here we had a new beginning. Thereafter, the entire freedom struggle is governed by Indian Congress. In 1905, Bengal partition took place, and in 1907, Congress was divided in two parts, which is called Surat Split, and we had two important groups. One was, led by Lal Bal Pal, and other was by the somewhat liberal people. Then in 1916, let's look at here. 1916, the Congress party was again able to get united. So these years you have to remember and read their history thoroughly so that you are able to prepare them well. So prepare well for 1916. That was the year when Congress again got united. And then in 1919, we had many important incidents. The most important incident was Montagu-Chelmsford reform. Montagu-Chelmsford was the viceroy of that time. Montagu was the secretary, and they introduced a reform, and that was a very important reform. So this was very important. And then we had 1916, we had major reforms, and 1919 we had there are major reforms, like one is Montagu-Chelmsford reform, one is Minto-Marley reform. Minto-Marley reform came in 1909. I forgot to mention about that. When Marley was the viceroy, Minto was the secretary. And then in 1919, we had Montagu-Chelmsford reform. And in 1920-22, for these 2 years, we had a very important period, because in these 2 years, we had Gandhiji doing non-cooperation movement. Gandhiji had 3 major agitations: non-cooperation movement, 1920-22, and in 1930, civil disobedience movement, and then Quit India movement. These 3 important movements were there, which were led by Gandhiji. Of course, many other movements were also there. Individual Satyagraha was also there, but these were the most important thing. Then in 1927-28, we had a period which was a very black period, which was because of Simon Commission. 1999 was a black year because Jallianwala Bagh took place. So these are important periods in Indian freedom struggle. You may read about them in Indian textbooks. Probably you cannot get clear history because a lot has not been written. Most of the things have been hidden. Still, some information you will get. So try to get these things and update yourself with Indian history. So that's what you can do. And then the freedom actually take place from 1942 onwards. Quit India movement was started. Then 45, then we had a lot of plans, Wavell plan. Before that, we had Cripps Mission plan. And after Wavell plan, we had a few more plans. Ultimately, Mountbatten plan. Mountbatten plan came in 1947 when Britishers were keen to leave India in June 1947. But before that, we had 3 plans. One was Cripps Mission, then Wavell plan, then Cabinet plan. And ultimately, India got freedom, but that was full of pain because partition took place and there were riots. So that was a brief round. Thank you all.